Hi, Laura. How are you?
I'm great. Of course, I'm on Fox last night. I'm sitting in the chair watching you speak in Phoenix, and I'm thinking, okay, just a few years younger than you, not many, but I'm exhausted. I'm thinking, how is this man even standing upright? What a day.
Well, it was a great day, and it started in Mexico and it ended in Phoenix, and it was an amazing day. And the rally last night, it really wasn't a rally, but it turned out to be. The crowd was so enthusiastic, it felt like a rally. But it was a great crowd. It was actually 15,000 people were literally crammed into the convention center, and there were a lot of people that couldn't get in, unfortunately. But it was a great evening, and we've gotten great reviews on what we said in the speech, and we had a very interesting earlier part of the day in Mexico too. Very, very nice people that I was dealing with.
Let's talk about of course, the media is all glommed on to the issue of the wall. And you came out and said there was no real discussion of the border wall payment. And then Nieto comes out and tweets, well, he knows, that we did discuss it, and basically we're not paying
No,
for
I
it.
didn't say that. No, I just saw it on television. Actually, I said, no, we did discuss the wall. And I actually said that. And, I guess it was a question that was asked. They said, did you discuss the wall? I said, we did discuss the wall. So the wall was briefly discussed. But, I understand Mexico's attitude toward the wall, and I understand Mexico's attitude toward paying for the wall, which they will, even though they will say now they won't, because obviously they have to say that. But eventually they'll pay for the wall. If I become president, they'll be paying for the wall. And I think they understand that, frankly.
Yeah.
But it was, but it was, honestly, it was a very, very nice meeting. It was a very respectful meeting. I think he's a terrific person. I enjoyed the day. I enjoyed the meeting in Mexico City.
Even Bill Kristol was on cable news yesterday saying, well, he looks pretty presidential. I'm paraphrasing, like, well, I don't like it, but this could make it more likely that he wins the general election. So even your never Trump critics in the Republican Party, I think they were all taken off guard by this, and which meant that you ended up taking control of the media narrative instead of the media narrative taking control of it. Media apparatus taking control of it.
Well, we had a very interesting, I guess you could have called it a little bit of a news conference, because they asked a few questions at the end, not a big deal. But it was certainly a very, very interesting meeting I had with the president. And, I found him and his people to be very, very fine people, actually. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
There's an enormous amount that Mexican Americans, and you made this statement, we bumped in with it actually, that you made us just at the beginning. You said, look, the Mexican Americans have done so much for this country and are people of great faith.
That's right.
And so to the Mexican Americans who are listening to this show today, who might still need some reassurance that, you're going to be president of all the people, what would you say to them?
Well, I love the Mexican Americans. As you know, I have tremendous numbers that work for me. I'm friends with them. You look at some of the jobs I have where we have so many people that are Mexican American. They're hard workers. They're tremendous people. And no, I absolutely love them. And I think they're great people. And the ones that know me like me a lot, I will tell you, like me a lot. And that's really one of the reasons I went to Mexico, frankly. Because, Mexico is a place that I actually have, I have tremendous respect for, and I have respect for the leaders. And the problem we have is, they're outsmarting our leaders to a point that it's almost, it's a horrible thing what's happening to our country. I mean, the leaders of Mexico are just outsmarting our leaders, and it's really very much of a one-way street. Obama doesn't know what he's doing.
The issue of trade, Mexico wants the TPP to go through. You don't. How do you handle that with them?
Well, we're going to have to, fight it on out. I'm opposed to it. I think it's a terrible deal for the United States. I think it's a terrible deal for our workers, and Mexico will have to fight it out. But, I'll be I'm not fighting for Mexico. I'm fighting for Mexican Americans, and I'm fighting for the workers in this country, and I'm fighting for the United States. The TPP is going to be a terrible deal. they don't even discuss things like monetary manipulation and devaluations. They don't discuss it. It's one of the prime tools. I mean, it probably is the prime tool where other countries have been using on the United States to take our business away. Look at what NAFTA has done to the jobs in our country. Look at the manufacturing where it's down. You look at these places like upstate New York and Michigan, and just take a look at what's happened to Pittsburgh. Take a look at what's happened to to parts of our country, to large parts of our country because of NAFTA. In Pennsylvania, I go through sections of Pennsylvania. It's so sad. So many of the businesses have left, and it's a combination of NAFTA. It's really having bad leadership at the top, but it's NAFTA, it's China taking our jobs, and just absolutely making our product, and we're not making it anymore. We should be making Apple computers and Apple iPhones. We should be doing it, not China.
I just have to share with you, a woman called me from my daughter's school who knows that, I'm a big supporter of yours. And she called me after the speech, and she said, I've got to say this. She said, the way he spoke in Mexico, this is from a woman who's maybe 40, 41, 42, she has 4 kids. Mm-hmm. She said, the way he spoke in Mexico, his tone, his a little, this your presentation. She said, man, that was presidential. And I think, it's interesting, the rallies versus the way you are on an international stage. And I think that was very reassuring to people. And I got the call, and I called my producer. I said, okay, now we're on to something here with the way the sort of, middle of the road Republicans can react to you, where sometimes in the rallies, you get riding the crowd's into you. But I just thought that was an interesting response from her. And this is a very smart, very accomplished person.
Well, it's really nice that you say that. Yeah, I felt very comfortable. It was a beautiful setting, a very formal setting. And, I was next to the president of Mexico, and we each had a podium, and I really enjoyed doing it. And, I thought it was appropriate to deliver the speech that way. Now, I will say this. When I went to Phoenix, the crowd was massive. The crowd was unbelievably. I'm sure you heard yesterday. I mean, they don't show the crowd like they should, but you hear the crowd. You don't even have to see it. You heard. There's a big difference between 15,000 people and 100 people. And, Hillary gets a crowd of like 400 people. It's a big crowd, but we had this unbelievably energized crowd. And if I would have used the tone that I used in Mexico, I think everybody would have fallen asleep. It's a very different.
Yep.
It's a very different kind of sensibility. And, both, I think, were really good, but it was a different tone. Mm-hmm. And nor could I have used the tone I used in Arizona in Mexico, because that was a tremendous crowd of people that was, very enthusiastic, and they want to stop illegal immigration. I mean, it's very simple. They want to stop illegal immigration.
But these were not inconsistent appearances. This is what I got to write something about this. It's not inconsistent because in Mexico, you said, look, these are our views. Mexico has different views. We don't agree on something. Right. This was an initial meeting. And then you go to Arizona and you say, I want to be America's president. And it's going to be, you also said it's going to be better for Mexico. A stronger America is better for the free world. If the America's in decline, the rest of the world's going to be in trouble too. The rest of the world who's not China.
Absolutely.
So I don't think there's
America
anything inconsistent. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing inconsistent.
America is in decline. Well, look at our GDP. Look at GDP where it's 1%. Look at what's going on. In fact, they downgraded it. They took it down a notch, but it's 1.1%. And, who ever heard of numbers like this? If that ever happened in China, they'd have a revolution. You look at our jobs are being taken. Our military is depleted. Our vets aren't being taken care of. Our Obamacare health care is a disaster where people are getting 60 and 70% increases.
No, it's a complete
the
nightmare.
The whole country is, we've got problems. The Second Amendment is under siege. Look, our country's in a lot of trouble. It's in a lot of trouble. And it's trouble that we can straighten out, but we don't have the right leadership right now. And Hillary Clinton would be worse than Obama.
Frank Luntz does his focus groups. Talking to Donald Trump, but I do my own. And these are working moms and stay-at-home moms. Just again, terrific people, but we don't agree on everything. A lot of them are more moderate than I am on some of the issues. But they routinely also say, and this is what I've been hearing for some months, that we need a little more sunshine from Donald Trump. We know the country's in decline, but we want the shining city on the hill. We want morning in America too. And I had to share that with you because I think in some settings, when people tune in for 5 minutes, it's things are pretty gloomy. But I think people are looking to you say they're gloomy now.
I think you're right about that. Yeah. I think you're right about that. I do think this, though, you have to say what the problem is. For instance, Obama will not use the term radical Islamic terrorism. He just won't use it. And it's just something you have to say. I mean, if we have a problem with something, you have to be able to talk about the problem. And, I do say the problems, but in the end, what I say is we're going to fix the problems. We can fix them, and that's where the sunshine comes in. We're going to fix the problems. Some of them aren't even hard to fix. It's just common sense, and they're just not even hard to fix. We have leadership that doesn't know what they're doing, and we're going to fix the problem. So if they hang on long enough, they're going to see a very sunny, beautiful picture. But it's going to be that way. It's going to be great. It's going to be, well, you've heard me say we're going to make America greater than ever before. I mean, it's going to be better than ever before.
Yeah, morning in America.
We have such potential. The people are so incredible.
Yeah, and I think, especially women voters, they want to believe that happiness, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Happiness is what more people want.
I say it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, they want happiness. They want to be, look, the American worker is making less money today in real wages than they made 18 years ago. Now, you have to say that. It's not a very positive thing, but we're going to get wages up. We're going to bring jobs back. I talk about it.
Yeah, more money in your pocket.
Sometimes you have to say what the problem is.
Yeah, more money in your pocket. And finally, we just got this Fox News poll. 77% believe a system to legalize the illegal immigrants should be set up. So in your new policy proposals that were very specific last night, do you address that concern of the American people that the people who are here legally, who've not committed crimes, will be able to have a legal way to be in the United States?
Well, we discuss a lot of things, and the one thing we discuss, I guess, most strongly is, we have many people in this country that are criminals and that have to be taken out. They have to be brought out of the country. That's why I brought these incredible angel moms up last night on the stage. These are people that lost children to,
illegal
to murder. I mean, pure and simple murder. And we have to get them out. And I say, once we stabilize, we'll be talking about that. That'll be phase 2. But we have to stabilize first before we do anything. We have to stabilize the immigration situation. I mean, one of the reasons that Arizona was so wild last night with the people and the thousands and thousands that they turned away in this massive haul, and they turned away thousands of people because, they're really affected by this immigration problem. So are all the states. So we have to stabilize first, and that's what we discussed. We discussed it in length. I just thought it was an amazing group of people last night. And, when you talk about optimism, they were the most optimistic.
I know you're giving a big speech today in your, the American Legion. Hillary Clinton, of course, came out and totally slammed your appearance in Mexico. She said this. Let's listen.
It's more than a photo op. It takes consistency and reliability. And it certainly takes more than trying to make up for a year of insults and insinuations by dropping in on our neighbors for a few hours and then flying home again. That is not how it works.
What do you say to Mrs. Clinton?
Well, she said it's a long, slow process, and it is with her. Everything's slow with her. Look, her record is horrible. The only thing she can do is go after me, make up phrases from Madison Avenue and go after me. And I guess it's not working because if you look at the polls that are coming out now, she's going down big league. And it was a very uninspiring speech she made yesterday. People were talking about there's nothing there. There's nothing there with Hillary, nothing there. And I said she didn't go to Louisiana. She didn't go to Mexico. And frankly, I don't think she has the strength or the stamina to do it. And you're not going to make America great again if you can't do it. She should have gone to Louisiana. She should certainly go to Mexico. And she didn't do either. All she does is criticize. That's all. She doesn't come up with policy. Where is her policy? There's no policy for illegal immigration for Hillary. She wants to have open borders, let people come in, let them pour over the borders. and you know the problems that that's causing. She has no policy. That's not the way to make America great, Laura, and it's, pretty sad when I watch it.
And finally, again, you're going to be asked this, so I might as well ask it. The line last week, you were softening on immigration, then you come out with a very specific, very pro-enforcement plan last night. Where's the softening?
Oh, there's softening. Look, we do it in a very humane way, and we're going to see with the people that are in the country. Obviously, I want to get the gang members out, the drug peddlers out. I want to get the drug dealers out. We get a lot of people in this country that you can't have, and those people will get out. And then we're going to make a decision at a later date once everything is stabilized. I think you're going to see there's really quite a bit of softening.
And
I feel strongly. I feel strongly we have to stabilize the border. We have to absolutely stabilize the border, and we have to have a strong border. Otherwise, we don't have a country.
Donald Trump, it is so great to talk to you, and thank you for taking time. I know you're rushing off to your speech, and we hope we can check back with you soon during the campaign. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Laura.
All right. You take care.